But Gregory, why don't we start with you, because you've always been a free agency expert, and and you're just a guy that I think that people want to hear from first here. And normally we just go to Hoge, but let's go to you wearing the World Series champs hat today.
That's right. The champ is here. All right, well, we'll get into my top 3 NFL free agents that the Bears should attack this offseason. I made a switch, and Steven didn't catch it, and that's okay, so we'll keep the list. Go ahead and put it up.
Did you make a...
No, I only made...
No. You gave Carm crap.
Yeah.
For his
when did you make a switch?
I didn't make it last minute, though. He just didn't see it, and that's okay. That's okay. Because my switch still has the same names. I'm putting Drew Dahlman ahead of Trey Smith. And let me tell you why.
The Dahlman up top.
Let me tell you why. Like, you can put him 1A and 1B, but I almost feel like now that I think a little deeper into it, as much as I would love Trey Smith on the Chicago Bears, to me, Drew Dahlman should be priority number 1. You have some different options at guard, Trey Smith obviously being the diamond that everyone wants, but we don't know if he's going to even be available. Drew Dahlman, to me, when you look at the problems the Bears have had at the center position the last few years, whether it be Sam Mustipher or Lucas Patrick, and it just every single guy they try to put into this spot, Coleman Shelton, not a great season last year, but I thought got slightly better as the year went on. Lock up the center position with a veteran. Drew Dahlman is somebody that I think comes in and can immediately be an anchor and somebody that can help Caleb Williams right away. And if you want to draft a center later in the draft to develop behind, I'm all for that. Then number 2, Trey Smith, for me, is the obvious answer for any of us, whether it's the 3 of us on this panel or in the chat. Trey Smith would be a home run signing for the Chicago Bears. He is everything that we need. Beggars can't be choosers. He is physical, nasty, violent, and a leader. And he's somebody that came from the 6th round and earned his way to the money that he's about to get. And that's somebody that I want rubbing off on the rest of this offensive line room that has lacked leadership here the last few years. And if you have to overpay him, again, the Bears are in no position to say they can't overpay for anyone to upgrade that room. And then my final guy, I'm bringing in Zeitler from Detroit. I want another offensive lineman. Kevin Zeitler, if you can bring him in, I need somebody that's going to understand the standard and the operation for what Ben Johnson runs in Detroit. And so to me, if you can bring in a guy that understands that process, another guy that can be a leader in the offensive line room, you sign all 3 of those guys, you can walk away from free agency and figure out the rest of your roster in the draft. I think those 3 guys are feasible, completely doable, and you could literally then be, playing with house money when you walk into the draft, because there's plenty of guys on the defensive line that you can get. This is a loaded defensive tackle class, and I think there will be plenty of guys available on the edge at 10. So those are my 3 guys. Do everything you can to put your resources into the offensive line.
Little bit love it like a kid who just ate all the protein on his plate but never did any of the vegetables or anything else, just going offensive line offensively. Not a lot of creativity here, but I like it. There's a lot of needs there. You are eating like an 8-year-old in free agency, but that's okay. Sometimes 8-year-olds have the best ideas. Hoge?
Zeitler's going to be 34 years old, but I mean, there's a Ben Johnson connection there, obviously.
Right.
I do
if
like
you're
that
going
part
to
of it.
overpay for Trey Smith, that 34 years old, he's going to be affordable, and he makes sense as far as somebody that you can plug in and can immediately run Ben Johnson's offense.
In your theory there, too, that means you must love an edge at 10, which is fine.
Yeah.
If that's how you're going about it.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I am going to reverse my top 2 order, though, from Bragg's, and that is because let me start with the obvious one. Trey Smith is my number 1 target. I just think, there are certain times when it is okay to overspend, because I don't really care who you're signing. You're usually overspending in free agency. But the reality is, in the NFL, really elite offensive linemen do not come available. It is very rare situations where you are actually able to go out and spend $20, $25 million a year on an offensive lineman that really seemingly doesn't have many flaws. And so to me, that is Trey Smith. And even though he is not a tackle, he is becoming expendable because of the Chiefs' unique situation. And it is justifiable to spend that money, which Pro Football Focus projects at a 4-year contract of $20.5 million. So not even like that $25 million number that's been floated out there a little bit. So I would go Trey Smith. I would spend that extra money for him over Dahlman. That being said, I do have Drew Dahlman as number 2 on my list. And the only reason I disagree with you a little bit, Greg, that putting him number 1 as the top priority is because think about what I just said about Trey. In Dahlman's case, there is not a lot of centers available in free agency this year. And so I actually think his numbers being kind of priced up to a number that probably doesn't match what he actually is as a pass protector. Really good run blocker, but can be better in pass protection. And so now it's a lot cheaper. You're talking about 4 years, $11.5 million is what Pro Football Focus is projecting that contract to be right now. But I don't think that he is, top tier player at his position. And when it comes to center, and I've been banging the drum for this for years now, I need an absolute all-pro. I want all-pro at that spot. Now, I don't know if Drew Dahlman's going to get to that level. Whereas if you draft one on a much lower contract, second round, we see that all the time with interior linemen. Just look at what Cam Jurgens was able to do this year. Second round pick, stepping in for Jason Kelce. That being said, I'm still willing to go out and sign him because I think he is one of the best players available in free agency this year. Number 3 on my list, going defense. I heard you guys' discussion about safeties yesterday, and I do agree you got to be thinking a little bit more long-term. I think you can survive next year with Jaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard, but if you want to go out and upgrade and find some value, I would look at Talanoa Hufanga from the 49ers, who may end up resigning there. But he had kind of a down year last year and was also dealing with injuries. But that being said, like anybody who watched the 49ers in 2022 and 2023 saw this dude all over the field. In fact, there were times where I'm like, wait a minute, is this guy a linebacker? Is he a safety?
He's like a Vikings player, honestly.
Right.
Like he's that type of guy.
Like where the hell does he play? And so like anybody who even wants to like talk about scheme fit, to me, he's the definition of football player. Like he is going to work wherever you put him because he seems to have those instincts. So I'm willing to look at what happened in 2024 and be like, you're probably getting some value here. Hufanga projected at 2 years, $12.5 million per year, according to Pro Football Focus. And he's still only 26 years old. All these guys young. Dahlman, 26, and Trey Smith's 25, turning 26.
All right, and there you have it for the Hoge list. And now, yours truly.
Can't wait for this.
Well, first of all,
It's terrifying.
I'm looking to keep financial flexibility here. I am looking for value. Always very hard to find in free agency.
So you're trying to do what Ryan Poles has unsuccessfully done.
That's correct. I think I can do it better.
You're trying to do like
I'll
when you're tipping when we go out.
Ooh. Ow.
So that's coming from somebody who doesn't understand math. And on a $50 bill, he feels like he should be tipping $25 because he doesn't understand anything. But
It's fair.
But regardless, so look, I was going through this last night, and I like dudes who have been all pros. I like dudes who have been 4-time Pro Bowlers. I like dudes who are leaders. I like dudes who look like this, Steven. Can I get that angry looking Ryan Kelly? Tell me you don't want that guy as your center. And I know that he's had some of these.
Is he sad or angry?
He's gonna kill you, and he's going to lead that room, and you're gonna get him on a nice value deal, and you're gonna draft a center to learn behind him, and he is going to squeeze whatever is left out of that body of his for one more season. Again, 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro. I mean, big time resume here, and has been banged up as of late, but available. And it doesn't look like the Colts are going to re-sign him. I can't know. He seems like he wants to play. 2 years, 20, 10 guaranteed, something of that ilk. You get yourself a Ryan Kelly, a leader in the middle of that line that knows what winning looks like. Grit, fire. I like it. Now, number 2 on the list. That's right. Can we pair somebody with Montez Sweat, who's paired with him before, who you can get on also a value deal, who can get to the quarterback? Chase Young is 25 years old. Chase Young, when healthy, can be a dynamic force. Chase Young is interesting to me because, again, you're probably not going to have to pay. That's probably a 1-year, $10 million deal for him. You look at his highlights last year with the Saints, there's some significant flashpoints there. Pair him back up with Montez Sweat. I like teammates who know each other. Chase Young is an interesting name out there for me as far as you're not going to have to overpay, and there's some big-time talent in that tank right there. And then 3.
Connection to Dennis Allen.
Connection to Dennis Allen as well. Thank you. That's an excellent point. Look, the Philadelphia Eagles had the best offensive line in the NFL. Mekhi Becton was a major part of it. Now, this is on the high end of paying because you're not going to get him cheap. But maybe somewhere, hopefully, I'm thinking $20 million guaranteed on a 3-4 year deal. And, yeah, this is a former first-round pick talent who Jeff Stoutland, the fine Eagles offensive line coach, figured out, you're a guard, you're not a tackle, go over there, maul people. That's what he did. Dude knows the tush push. Dude's a Super Bowl champion. Give me another winner in that locker room. Put him right next to that lunatic Kelly, who's going to sit there and look at him, and they're going to eat people together, along with Darnell Wright, and then go draft yourself one more guard, and you're cooking with gas. Damn it.
We all silly like the mayor.